Hello, everyone. Cory Marshall here with the Chamber of Progress. The Chamber of Progress is the tech industry coalition representing some of the industry's largest tech companies, names that you know, and small, what I'll call mom and pop size shops as well. And today we have the great pleasure of sitting down with Jasmine Hudson. She's the founder of Black Paper Party, an amazing business that produces holiday paper for Christmas time and for your holiday season. Jasmine, I would love for you to introduce yourself so folks know who you are.
Sure. So thank you so much. Happy to be here. I am Jasmine Hudson. I'm a co-founder. So it's three of us that started Black Paper Party. I'm originally from Cincinnati, and Black Paper Party is 5 years old. So we celebrated 5 years, September 15th. And we're a seasonal celebrations business, bringing representation to holidays and special occasions. What does that mean? Black Santa, angels, gnomes on wrapping paper, ornaments, gift bags. And in the short amount of time that we've been in business, we've been in stores that you're probably familiar with. So Walmart, Target, TJ Maxx, Marshalls,
Yeah.
Family Dollar, Dollar General, Macy's, all of that. So we've grown pretty quickly. We've been featured on Shark Tank, The Today Show, Kelly Clarkson Show. So it's been kind of
Mm.
gangbusters since we started, and excited to continue to grow. And I'm also co-founder of an organization. It's a nonprofit called Black Owned Northwest Arkansas. So I live in Northwest Arkansas, Bentonville specifically, and it's all about highlighting, celebrating, and amplifying small Black-owned businesses in the Northwest Arkansas
Right.
region.
Well, wonderful. Thank you for taking the time to be with us here today.
Yeah.
So, AI is changing the way that we live. It's changing the ways that we manage our families. At my household, we create recipes utilizing artificial
Yeah.
intelligence for our weekly
Same.
schedule. We manage our nanny schedule with AI. And I actually utilize AI to help me with a fitness schedule. And so we know that you're using AI to help manage Black Paper Party and also with the nonprofit Black Owned Northwest Arkansas that you manage. Can you just give us an insight to what first motivated you to start experimenting with AI?
Sure. So I started kind of like learning about it because it became so popular just in the news. And I'm just like, okay, let me figure out what on earth even
Yeah.
is this. And at the time, the most popular platform was ChatGPT. So
Yeah.
initially, I was using it like very skeptical. You know how kind of like you step your toe into the water just real quick to see if it's cold. So I was initially using it as a search engine, just to help with
Mhm.
research on trend and kind of trying to triangulate really who our customer was. So, for instance, we'll export some of our customer information, not their actual contact information, but like where they are from a region perspective, a gender perspective, and uploaded it into ChatGPT and said, like, hey, from this, what insights can you gather? Can you jet this up against what you can crawl from the internet to help us better understand our customer persona? So we really just kind of started it out by just kind of testing what it knows, and validating some of our
Mhm.
conclusions that we've already come to when it comes to our business.
Testing what it
Yeah,
knows and validating some of the conclusions that you already had yourself. That is
right.
exactly those are similar ways that I utilize AI. Would you say that there were some initial learning curves, like to any business owners or folks who are in similar positions who are thinking about utilizing AI to help scale their lives or scale their businesses? Were there any learning curves that you had to overcome in the beginning process of?
Sure. I would say the learning curve was more so around just proper prompting.
Mm,
You through experimentation, you'll in trial and error, you'll figure out that there's a way to kind of get higher quality answers or answers closer to what you're looking for, not necessarily trying to influence what the answer is itself, but just actually answering the question that you want to have answered. So I
right.
think the learning curve is being able to honestly, you being smarter and asking more high quality questions of the tool
Yes.
so that it can give you more high quality responses.
Jasmine, I think that was an amazing answer. I think that if there is anything to take away from this interview is that what I'm continue to highlight for folks going forward is proper prompting. When you have conversations with folks as you're out and about in the world, you want to talk, you want to have high quality conversations. So you just underscores something we all know to be true is that the information that you put into the system to present inquiries is those your answers and the results
Yes.
that you get will be based on the quality of information that you put in. So learning how to talk to AI in a reasonable way that can yield the results that you're looking for. That was awesome. Thank you for that. Let's talk about impact on the operations of your business. Can you share a concrete example of how AI has helped you to save time, cut costs, or expand your reach?
Sure. Okay. It does all three: save time, cut costs, and expand the reach. So I can hit on all of them. So, in terms of how
Yep.
we can save time, um, one of the things that we do with Black Paper Party is we work in trend. And that's really our competitive advantage. We have a nuanced
Yeah.
approach to our products based on the Black diaspora and our lived experience. So
Hmm.
one of the things that we wanted to do was have something really fun for this holiday season. And we have very limited resources, so particularly in
Hmm.
product development. So we prompted ChatGPT. We're just like, hey, we want to remix the 12 Days of Christmas. And we want it kind of nuanced by the Black experience. So it gave us a couple of recommendations on updated lyrics. We played around with it. We said, hey, change this, update that, actually insert this word here. And through all of that, we actually developed a product line that is a remix of the 12 Days of Christmas. This is actually one of our products. It's kind of backwards because I'm on the selfie camera.
Yeah.
However, it says like 12 kings and queens, 11 dancers stepping, you know what I mean? And all and on down.
Yeah.
So with the use of AI, we've been able to develop products, and this line is going to be in Walmart this holiday season. So
Yeah.
it yields like material results. And then in terms of cutting costs, I'll flip over to our nonprofit, Black owned Northwest Arkansas. We know nonprofits are lean and mean. When I say 9
100%.
times out of 10,
100%.
you are the marketing person, you are the salesperson,
100%.
you're everything.
Yeah.
So we really needed a flyer for our upcoming market. We have a market that hosts over 70 Black-owned businesses,
Mhm.
over 2,000 people come out, and we couldn't afford a graphic designer. So we were just like, you know what? I wonder if ChatGPT can actually give us an
Help you
image.
out. Hmm.
Yeah, so we uploaded all of
Yep.
the event information and the look and feel that we wanted, and he gave us the
Yep.
most amazing flyer that we were able then
Yep.
to use. And
Yep.
we didn't have to incur any costs because ChatGPT gave us the flyer. And then in terms of expanding our reach, lastly, is all centered around how we use ChatGPT for social media. And that's both
Hmm.
on the entrepreneur, Black owned NWA side for the nonprofit, and then for our business, Black Paper Party. When I say ideas for reels, for TikToks, captions that are engaging,
Hmm.
ideas for
Hmm.
B-roll, graphics for stories, literally expanding our reach through really great content building and strategy, through proper prompting, is how we've been
Hmm.
able to leverage AI both for my small business and our nonprofit.
Yep. I feel like Jasmine, coming away from this chat with you, I think
Yeah,
we're gonna have to have a PSA called proper prompting to teach the American people, citizens of the globe,
absolutely.
to be honest, how to properly prompt. You clearly, artificial intelligence has played a major part in your success. I'd love to hear how AI has helped you to grow or scale your businesses and even your nonprofit work in ways that might not have otherwise have been possible, especially as a Black entrepreneur.
Right. So essentially, it just makes us so much faster and so much more efficient.
Hmm.
So we can, in terms of scale, like, would we have gotten to where we've gotten to eventually? Maybe. But
Hmm.
we were able to get to where we are, especially in the most like recent years, large in part because of how fast we're able to move. So one of the ways, again, is back to the product development side, where we've been able to leverage AI for actual products that we
Hmm.
can go to market with in a very quick way, and then also just financial modeling as well. So we're working on a pop up that is going to be kind of our next foray in terms of
Wow.
how we're scaling. So with that, we've been able to use AI as a search engine for staffing and for
Mm-hmm.
different kind of like equipment that we may need. We've been able to use it for RFPs, the ways we can like reach out to people to actually bring them in
Yeah.
to the fold as we build out our plan and our strategy. And then we also use it for digital renderings of the actual space,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
by which we were then able to put into our pitch deck and go out for funding. And it even, creates the emails that we need to cold call these
Mm-hmm.
people to get funding.
Mm-hmm.
So it really just kind of lowers the multiple barriers. And every entrepreneur and every nonprofit leader, they know that time and resources as in money, and resources
Mm-hmm.
as in time. So if you're able to save money and save time, that is going to enable you to scale and move fast.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I continue to tell people as it relates to the AI future and the new frontier models and all of everything that's involved with it is that time is one of our most precious elements because we can never get it back. And AI is something that if you're not utilizing it to optimize your life, then I think personally that you're doing life wrong. In order to
Yeah.
optimize your life, though, you have to trust AI. So I do want to talk about trust and risk. I utilize AI to manage my calendar,
Yeah.
to schedule meetings for me. Now there are emerging plugins. I have my AI connected to my Google Drive. It can help me think
Same.
through past work as I think about future work. Um, I'd like to talk about your outlook on trust and risk. Many small business owners worry about liability or bias in third-party AI apps. Just you don't have to speak to that specifically, but just any concerns that
Sure.
you think that small business owners should be also considering as they begin to adopt AI in their everyday
Yeah,
use.
sure. So one, I actually do want to kind of take on the bias piece kind of head on because it's a learning tool as well. It kind of learns you.
Yeah.
So from
Mm-hmm.
a like minority perspective, if we're not engaging with the technology, we're never going to feed it the information that will make it
Yeah.
culturally relevant and
Mm-hmm.
culturally nuanced.
Mm-hmm.
So if we shy away
Yep.
from it, and so we either need to
Mm-hmm.
be super users of it or we need to be in
Mm-hmm.
the careers that influence the build out of the actual
Mm-hmm.
technology. In my opinion, we need
Yeah.
both. We need people that look like us at the table building the tool, and then we need people on the other side of the screen using the tool so that it can, you know what I mean, lower those biases. It's only as
Yeah.
good as the people that built it.
The,
So it's going to be
yeah.
biased
Yeah.
based on who built it, right? So there's an
100%.
aspect of that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then in terms of the
100%.
trust, the trust is going to come as it starts to
Yeah.
learn the culture more and more, and it'll
Mm-hmm.
give those fantastic answers and responses we're looking for. But
Yeah.
trust, you don't go on a date and you immediately trust the person that's sitting across from you.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
same thing with AI. You
Mm-hmm.
need that constant interaction, exposure,
Yeah.
and understanding the tool so that you can build the
Mm-hmm.
trust. It comes from consistent engagement with the tool
Mm-hmm.
and understanding its capabilities. And back to your point, proper prompting. Once you
Yeah.
understand how to kind of get better at prompting it, I think the trust builds over
Yeah.
time. And also,
Yeah.
you do need to practice caution. Do you want to upload your social
Mm-hmm.
security number to OpenAI?
Mm-hmm.
Probably not. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't do that. But when it
Yeah.
comes to modeling out your inventory or asking
Mm-hmm.
it to make this recipe, you know what I mean, low calorie,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's perfectly fine to use. And honestly, maybe that's the
Mm-hmm.
first step. Maybe you don't put in all of
Yeah.
your business information. Maybe you start off with like, give me a meal plan or give me,
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
workout split that works for my
Yeah.
busy schedule. And as
Yeah.
you get used to it, then you may start uploading more information to it to help your nonprofit or your small business.
Yep. You just touched on something that I find
Yeah.
a bit comical in my household. Soul food is the epicenter of the
Yeah.
Black community, and my wife and I are oftentimes putting in recipes that grandma made and saying, how could you make this a bit more
I
healthy
do
for
that
our family?
too.
And ChatGPT will give you the roadmap, and there's no real difference in taste, but there's a real difference in the impact that the meal could potentially
Yeah.
have on your health. So I appreciate you saying that. So Jasmine just talked about trust and risk, and she said that as it relates to bias in utilizing third-party AI apps, that we need to ensure that folks from the Black community are chief. You point out two things are one, are super users, or two, people that are behind the scenes building the technology. And I think that that's something that I hope that the
Right.
industry listens to and take away. I appreciate you saying that. And similar to that, we want to talk about inclusive adoption. From your perspective,
Yeah.
what do you think inclusive and equitable AI adoption looks like in the practice, in practice for Black-led nonprofits and small businesses?
Sure. So, one of the I'm gonna kind of spin it. So it's just like, what's the
Yeah,
vision for the future? You know what I mean? Of AI,
yeah,
and how do we use it as kind of like marginalized communities and fully
yeah,
integrating it into our day to day, but in a way that is helpful, makes us more efficient, allows us to save money, makes us healthier as a culture, kind of
yeah,
to your point. So when it
yeah,
comes to inclusive adoption of AI, how do we get people to actually get onto the platform? I think it boils down to three things, which is access, awareness, and trust. So we hit on trust already in terms of just needing to feel good and confident in using the tool. That comes by way of engagement, that comes by way of giving it what it needs so it can understand cultural nuance. But awareness as well. What all can this tool
hmm
really do for me?
hmm
What are
hmm
the plugins? And there's always a new something every day, every
every
week.
day.
So I
Hmm
just integrated it into my Gmail, and I will prompt
hmm
it that morning. I'm like, hey, please give me what I've missed, and
hmm
start up some emails that can, you know what I
hmm
mean, be some good responses to those open emails I haven't gotten to quite yet, and build a
Yeah,
to-do list for today
100%.
for me. Isn't that cool?
Hmm
And then
That
the
is,
access
yeah,
piece. Yeah, so
yeah,
access is really important, and that can come by way of free access
yeah.
to the tools, at least temporarily,
hmm
so that
hmm
people can get adopted to it, used to it, and then see why it's
Yeah,
worth paying for. But
yeah,
also access in the sense of, we need high speed internet. I
yeah,
mean, we're used to it, but not everyone in the
yeah,
country has access to high speed internet. So we have
yeah.
an accessibility problem for that from that perspective as well. So if we're
hmm
able to lower the
We do.
barrier to entry from a cost perspective, high speed internet perspective, then get people to use it from an awareness perspective, understanding all of the
Yeah,
tips and tricks and tools, then they will build
yeah,
that trust and confidence, and will feel good from being inclusive in terms of
yeah,
marginalized communities stepping into the world of AI.
yeah. I love it. I love it. What advice do you have for your peers, other small business owners and nonprofit leaders who are curious about AI? I know I use it in every aspect of my life,
Hmm.
but what thoughts would you share with them, folks who are on the precipice or they're thinking about it,
Yeah.
but they
Listen, if
haven't
you're
really
thinking
decided
about it,
to do it?
it's those two things. You save time and you save money. If
Yeah,
you're a business owner, you know those are the two things that you need and you never have enough of. So if I can confidently stare at you in your eyes, is this the camera? Stare at you in your eyes and say to
yeah.
you that this tool materially, this is not theoretical, can help you save time and money, it's worth exploring. You can figure out the different
100%.
you can prompt it for strategy, you can prompt it for inventory planning, you can prompt it for HR and reviewing contracts, building out contract verbiage. Honestly, pretty much anything under the sun outside of it actually pick, packing, and shipping your products. You can make the process more efficient though if you wanted to upload that. So there's so many ways to leverage AI to make your team smarter, make you smarter, make your operations faster.
Yeah. And I appreciate that's really, really great and well thought out response. So as we close up this conversation, here at the Chamber of Progress, we've been very involved with advocating for smart and good AI policies from Colorado, their Senate Bill 205, to Connecticut, to Virginia, to Illinois. If you can make one recommendation to policymakers to better support Black entrepreneurs in this digital economy, what would that be?
Policy. Um, well, is can I do like one and a half?
Yeah.
So in
Hmm.
terms of policy, one, it goes back to the high speed internet. That's one.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking of kind of like just like the next generation of adopters. They're going to be
Yeah.
sorely behind if they're not able
Hmm.
to leverage AI. And honestly, AI needs
Yeah.
to be in classes just like we have math, we have reading, we need
Yeah.
AI. So
Yeah.
I think that's really important, and it needs to be integrated into schools, or else as a country we will fall behind. We will fall, excuse me, behind very quickly. And then I would say,
Yeah.
lastly, in terms of helping out small businesses and nonprofits, if there was a way to, again, back to the access piece, low to no cost options, at least temporarily, to incentivize adoption. And I think that really helps, you know what I mean, American businesses, you know what I mean, US based nonprofits, to better help their respective communities, to bolster commerce in their regions, if not in the entire country. If they're able to do that in a way that's not a financial burden, we would love some sort of policy to drive that.
Thank you, thank you,
Yeah,
thank you, thank you, Jasmine. Ladies and gentlemen, again, we encourage you to all think about proper prompting. I'm gonna have to, Jasmine's gonna have to trademark that and put it
that's
on a
it.
t-shirt. Jasmine Hudson, the co-founder of Black Paper Party and the nonprofit Black Owned Northwest Arkansas, has just outlined a number of ways that small businesses and entrepreneurs can utilize AI to help scale your businesses and all the wonderful things that you're doing to serve your communities through nonprofit and public policy engagement. Jasmine, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you
Until
for
next
having
time,
me.
thank
Thank
you.
you so much. I appreciate it.